This is the Hoff Time Report with Idaho Freedom Foundation President Wayne Hoffman, one of Idaho's most respected, influential public policy voices.
Hey, welcome back for another Hoff Time Report, and I'm coming to you this time from lovely Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Let's jump right into today's topic. Everyone in Idaho, everyone, especially lawmakers, the governor, and members of the State Board of Education should read Sarah Jo Fendley's damning $10 million tort claim against Boise State University, which she filed on Thursday. It's a heck of a read. Members of the House of Representatives especially need to take a look at this document before they vote on a budget for our state's higher education system that would pluck a measly $409,000 from Boise State University's budget of more than $600 million as punishment for its continued institutionalized bigotry. If they do read this 12-page report, state representatives will see very clearly that Boise State officials have more than a passing interest in leftist indoctrination, race-mongering, and diversity and inclusion rhetoric. What they'll see is that the school's leaders have become activists in their own right. They're on the government payroll, using their positions to execute on critical race theory, which views America as irredeemably racist, and that such racism is the foundation of the country's political and economic systems and therefore need to be dismantled and eradicated. That includes ending our nation's long-standing systems of law and order, capitalism, private property, free markets, and constitutionally protected rights. Our research has proven that radical thinking is in fact baked into the entire system at Boise State University, and Fendley's complaint notes that the radicalism permeates from the university's highest levels. And she got to experience that firsthand. The documents reveal that it was Boise State's leadership that egged on extremists, the thug wing, if you will, of the student activists to make Fendley close her coffee shop on the campus simply because she is supportive of the men and women of law enforcement. Fendley's support of law enforcement, by the way, is personal. It's hardly racist. That's despite the wokish student claims to the contrary. Her fiancé is a police officer. His name is Kevin Holtree, and that name should be familiar to a lot of Idahoans. He was critically wounded in the line of duty. He remains paralyzed from the waist down to this day. BSU employees knew this, but did nothing to sideline these radical students that were pestering to close her campus coffee shop. Fendley's complaint relies on meeting transcripts and emails to document the abhorrent behavior by Boise State students and staff, including a guy named Francisco Salinas, the Assistant Vice President for Equity Initiatives. It was he who fed students imagined grievances about Big City Coffee and suggested that they take a stand against this business, which he said, this is a Boise State employee, by the way, he said could lead to a revolution in which the school could judge vendors based on political positions. Salinas told students that they might compel Big City Coffee to fund students and employees to attend a conference regarding race and discrimination. And he even suggested that they might hold Big City Coffee accountable by providing scholarships to marginalized students. This is an employee at Boise State. Later, at a hastily arranged meeting, the complaint says, school officials ambushed Fendley and her fiancé with these students' made-up, nonsensical complaints about Big City Coffee. Fendley says she asked the school to back her up in the face of unfair criticism, to which one BSU employee, who happens to be one of President Marlene Trump's top advisors replied, "That's not going to happen." While 18 students who were employed by Findlay at the campus coffee shop lost their jobs, no one at Boise State University lost theirs. In fact, nothing seems to have happened with regard to Boise State staff. They continue to wage war on America. Even now, Boise State employees are organizing, figuring out their next steps in this pursuit of their brand of social justice. Salinas, who I mentioned earlier, also happens to serve as president of Boise State's Professional Staff Association. He recently sent an email around calling for more leftist planning and organizing in the face of the criticism from the legislature. The legislature's contemplated budget cuts for the university system is barely a blip, certainly barely a blip for Boise State. That $409,000 I mentioned to you earlier is a rounding error on the school's $600 million budget. And if lawmakers accept this budget, BSU will be able to continue to promote radicalism from within the highest ranks at the school. Nothing will change, and groups like the Inclusive Excellent Student Council, which led the crusade against Big City Coffee, will continue to get public money to keep doing what they're doing. The left-leaning, recklessly biased National Public Radio, by the way, will continue to broadcast from Boise State's campus, and you will continue to pay for it as a taxpayer. Diversity and inclusion programs will also continue, and you'll students continue to be divided between groups based on race and gender into victim and oppressor. And also bear in mind that while we've been talking this entire video about Boise State University, again, I remind you that the budget that lawmakers are preparing to pass does nothing at all to punish the University of Idaho, Idaho State University, or Lewis Clark State College for similar kinds of activism, including for University of Idaho, the promotion of Black Lives Matter's Marxist views. Lawmakers should definitely read Findlay's account. Her complaint is very alarming. They need to examine what's happening on our state's college and university campuses, and if they're really doing enough or anything at all to save America from homegrown radicalism. Or they should consider if they're actually helping fund that which is destroying not only a small business like Findlay's, but also the entire fabric of our country. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.
You've been listening to the Hoff Time Report with Wayne Hoffman. Be sure to visit idahofreedom.org for Wayne's articles, IFF research, and show notes from today's episode.